Hey everyone, Jim here. Um, let's talk politics really quick. I know you're not supposed to talk religion or politics, but those are two of the topics that I love to talk about the most. So let's talk about those really quick. Right now, yesterday there was an attack in Nice, France. I don't know how to say it. In France, a truck with a terrorist in it, what seems to be a radical radical Muslim terrorist, drove itself into a crowd on Bastille Day in France, killing, I believe the number is now 84, and injuring, I think there's about 25 left that are in critical condition. We pray for the people in France, and this is just crazy because we just had attack. When was the last attack? There was an attack on France recently. We just had an attack in San Bernardino. We had the one in Orlando. We had the cop shot in Texas. Now I know that was not a radical Muslim, but we had what was the other one? The airport in Turkey. And we also just had a military coup in Turkey, and they say that they have seized complete control of the government. So with all of this stuff crazy going on, we also have an election here in the U.S. going on right now. We vote in November. For those of you who don't know American politics. So after the vote in November, the winning president then takes over obviously in January of next year. Now the way the U.S. politics work is we have an electoral college, and so based off of how many representatives you have in the House of Representatives, and each state having 2 senators, whatever that number adds up to, that's how many delegates you get. We have the electoral college, so if you win that state, you get that many of electoral votes. So how many delegates? I think California has 58 or something like that. I can't remember the number, but you have to win 270 delegates to win. So there are some states with as little as 3. They only have 1 person in the House of Representatives, and they have their 2 senators, and that gives them 3 electoral votes. So we don't do general votes here. It's why we're not a democracy in the U.S. We're a constitutional republic. Even deeper, we're a representative constitutional republic, meaning we're ran by a constitution. We use electoral college. It's not popular vote here. The problem is right now we really have a 2-party system. Now there are other parties. There's the Green Party and Independents and all those kinds of Libertarian. But realistically, there's only 2 parties that are actually going to win. That's the Republicans and the Democrats, in case you don't know anything about U.S. politics. The problem this year is one of them is going to win. So we have the choice this year between an authoritarian, big government, corrupt, pathological lying, pretty much socialist, and Donald Trump. Those are our options. Hillary Clinton being the first one, Donald Trump being second. Donald Trump being a nationalist, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but when you go to the extreme, it becomes one. Authoritarian, meaning big government. So the other side of authoritarian is libertarian, which is small government. He's very much authoritarian, big government, not free trade conducive. He's not very trustworthy in the fact that he's been a lifelong Democrat and a supporter of the Clintons until the last couple of years, even possibly this year. My problem is one of them has to win, and I hate both of those options because neither one are good at anything. Trump, zero political background, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but when you start saying the stuff he does, he's winning based off of, it seems like, what's the craziest thing I can say and see if people will still vote for me? And Clinton panders. So Clinton just starts agreeing with whatever rhetoric is popular at the time. She really does popular vote, and that's how she gets her votes. It's why neither one of them really do all that well with millennials, is we're kind of tired of this nonsense. You've got Trump who wants to partial ban on Muslims coming into the country. I don't have a problem with immigration reform. We have a right as people of this nation to check who comes in and stop people who are bad that don't come in, but you can't do all of them, right? And he wants to build the wall. I mean, that's silly. I'm not huge into that building of the wall. I would like to see some real immigration reform where there's a quicker way into this country. I understand that people want to come here because it's still a great country. I mean, we're still the easiest place to build wealth and all those kinds of things. And I understand that people want to get here, so I would like to see a streamlined process where it's you get your citizenship and you also can come into the country and all that kind of stuff a little bit quicker, a little bit easier, so they don't have to come. People don't have to come illegally. I don't want to see a huge refugee thing. I wouldn't like to see us bring a lot of people in, only because we would have to do it based off of government programs, and that means more taxes and all those kinds of things. Though, yes, I understand my ancestors would have been immigrants, and so that's why I have no problem with people coming into this country. I know it's still a place that people want to come to, and I like that about this country. So the Trump rhetoric is really dangerous, but so is the Clinton rhetoric. Whatever she says, because she's just agreeing with whatever popular. And the problem with democracy is it's just mob rule. It's just popular vote, and that can be dangerous. That doesn't protect the smaller groups that people don't agree with. And so if 51% of the country start agreeing on a dangerous ideology, well, based off of what Clinton has shown us, she'll start to lean towards that ideology, and that's not something we really want to head down towards. The even more dangerous part about the two-party American political system is I'm not so much worried about the presidential election, though. The president has gotten a lot more power over the last 100 years than they really should have. We can do executive orders. They can unilaterally make things legal, and that shouldn't be the way it is. That's not the way it was written in the Constitution. I very much believe that the Constitution is Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights, all those kind of things are some of the greatest government documents ever written, if not the greatest government documents ever written. So I do believe they should be held true to them, because I genuinely believe the Founding Fathers laid in their ideas on the best possible government. And it's free people, small government, and free people. Here's what the government, it's not telling us what we can and cannot do, it's telling the government what they can and cannot do, what rights of ours they can infringe upon. Read correctly, it outlines what government is able to do, not what rights we have. I like small government. I don't like a lot of government. I like government closer to the people, and just the more freedom, the better. The other dangerous thing is not necessarily what the president we elect. Either way, really, we're going to elect Trump or Clinton right now. And either way, it's a bad idea, because Clinton has shown to be a liar, Trump's shown to be crazy. Both of those are bad things. It's also who we elect as our senators and our House of Representatives, our representatives in the House. I don't think a lot of people understand the power that's still there. So in the House of Representatives, the Speaker of the House really is in control of what comes to the floor. So if the Speaker of the House doesn't want something voted upon, he's not going to have you vote on it. Right now, the Speaker of the House is Paul Ryan. And if Paul Ryan doesn't want the House to vote on something, it's not going to get voted on. Well, that clogs a lot of stuff up, which is actually the way I like it. I don't like a lot of things just flying through at the time. I like a Senate and a House that really kind of holds everything off, because the good laws and bills can't get passed, but also the bad ones can't get through. The two-party system, I think, hurts most there, and I don't know if the Senate and the House are necessarily a great reflection of what the people want. And that's just as dangerous as the president we're electing, is who we put there. It's actually possibly even more dangerous. And so the president, Obama, Bush, Clinton, Reagan, Bush, Carter, all the way back, have started using executive orders, which are unilateral, which are really dangerous, because that becomes, that's not even a thing I think the president should really have. Executive orders can be very dangerous. It's just the president going, okay, this is now in law, executive order, you have to follow it. Now, those are really unconstitutional. They're really not safe. I mean, they can be corrupted quickly. And so what we have to remember is, yes, vote for who you think is best, right? If that's Clinton or Trump, fine. I'm personally probably going to vote Gary Johnson. He's not the one I exactly wanted. I actually really like Austin Peterson. But Gary Johnson, I think, is the best of all of them. I agree with him on most things, and most of the idea, and most of the big talking points that you'll hear a lot during the debates. I agree with probably what Gary Johnson has to say. not a big possibility he's going to win or even get onto the debates. I think he got to be at 15% right now. He's only at 11 or 10 or something like that, but I'd like to see him get on that. Libertarian is a very good third option coming up, and I think it's eventually going to replace much of the Republican Party, because it's small government, freedom to the people, really putting power back into people and away from the government, away from the president and all that. But we need to remember that it's just as dangerous with what we're going to do in the Senate than, or the House, so in Congress, than we are with also the president. So, we need to put better people as our senators, better people as our representatives, better people in the White House, better vice president, better judge. We need better leaders right now than we have. And we have very divisive, dangerous leaders on both sides that are just hurting the causes of a lot of things, and that's where I'd like to see a change, is not just the president, so a libertarian possibly getting up, but also less party affiliation in the Congress, because I understand that those are negotiated and used as negotiation tools, but I wish they would have more, my constituents matter more than my party, and I don't have to agree with my party simply because that's what the party is saying. I can agree with it because of my beliefs. So American politics are in a dangerous place. All politics are in a dangerous place right now, because we've got a lot of terrorist attacks happening right now, and it's very dangerous. So we need better leaders that aren't so divisive, leaders that will come out and say the right things and do the right things, and not be afraid. I feel like we got some fear in there right now with politics, politicians and leaders and all that kind of stuff. So maybe not as much fear also in them, maybe a stronger leader. And this is not, I'm not talking about Obama, I'm talking about Obama, Biden, Paul Ryan, I believe Harry Reid's the leader of the House majority, not the House majority, the Senate majority, Democratic Party, Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, we have Kevin McCarthy's in there somewhere, who else, Republican leaders, Newt Gingrich, who's possible VP, I don't like him, I don't like Pence for VP, the Trump card, I'm having a tough time voting for, an even tougher time, just as much tough time voting for the Clinton, what looks like Warren ticket, but might not be, I don't know who Clinton's going to pick. If you had to put a gun in my head and said, pick, you have to vote for Trump or Clinton, I'd probably just let you shoot me, because it's not worth it right now. I mean, both of them are very divisive, very dangerous leaders, and we need to realize that they are, and they're saying dangerous things. Well, I hope maybe you learned something in this one. I always like talking politics. If you're watching, leave in the comments what you think about what's going on in the world. I hope to hear from you.